Hello, today we're going to be talking about Chapter 10, Communications and Personal Relationships by Andrea Porrero Rodriguez, Joe Lopez Santiago, Natalia Rodriguez, and Moises Figueroa. Here we have the objectives. In this chapter, we're going to be defining turning points and how they affect relationships, communication techniques that help maintain a long-distance relationship, the importance of equity in long-term relationships, and identifying the cycles of an intimate partner abuse. Next, we're going to be talking about the understanding personal relationships. Personal relationships can be classified as people that have a strong commitment with each other by doing the following: being influenced by a set of rules, having established relationship dialects, having a surrounding context. This can also be based on an emotional connection in a relationship, regardless of gender, race, or sexual orientation. Here we divided them in certain categories like uniqueness, commitment, relationship rules, affected by context, and relationship dialects. Here in uniqueness, we see that every relationship is unique and it's never the same. This can also be found in social relationships, which are interactions that individuals have depending on their social roles. These are not based on personality traits or individual qualities that they may have throughout their interactions. However, it's based on the things that they do in their environment. Also, they are easily replaceable. To give you a better understanding of what social relationships are, I will be presenting an example of what most of us can relate to. Steve is currently struggling with his Pre-Calculus 1 assignment that are due weekly. He talks to his classmates, John, about it, and they both agree to help each other out. Every week they do interactions, having the same communication topic until the semester is over. And if you want to see an example of easily replaceable, this can be seen in, for example, in one semester, Steve has to take Pre-Calculus 2 and finds a new classmate. They both interact and they do the same cycle of communication, talking about their assignments until the semester is over. However, in a personal relationship, it can be a little different when it talks about uniqueness and social relationships. A personal relationship is formed with a bond and a connection formed between two individuals. If a tragedy occurs like a death or a loss of a loved one, or simply a breakup, that can affect the individual greatly. As the person heals, they can form a bond with another person, but their past still remains in their memory. They are not easily replaceable. In commitment, this involves 3 important keywords that will be explained as we go along the lesson. First, we have passion, then commitment, and investment. These words can help us understand more in detail what are some common features in a personal relationship that involves a strong commitment between two individuals. First, it begins with the feeling of passion that can lead to an engagement and dedication to a relationship as a way of having a reward. Rewards are found when a person feels happy when the other person is interacting with them, or feeling butterflies in their stomach. Then we have commitment in a personal relationship. This involves staying dedicated to a relationship without the feeling and desire of a reward. It's a decision to not leave a person's side regardless of the outcomes, disappointments, and troubles that may occur in a relationship. This person is fully committed to stay with another person and not letting them go. Then we have investment. Investment deals with not only buying things for them, but it's also spending and giving their time to that person. This also helps the relationship into becoming stronger and committed into staying together. This also prevents the relationship to end. To have a better understanding of this, I will be presenting some important examples of what it involves to stay committed in a relationship. The first example is Ashley and John have recently started a relationship. Every time she sees him, she feels extremely happy, and every time they hug, she feels butterflies in her stomach. Example number 2 would be 3 years later in their relationship, they have stayed together side by side, committed, regardless of all the ups and downs that have occurred in their relationship. Both of them have strongly agreed that they see a future together with each other, and they want to stay stronger in an engaged relationship. Example number 3 would be John wants to surprise Ashley with flowers during Valentine's Day. He also takes a day off from work to spend time with his significant other. This has caused Ashley to feel extremely happy, increasing the chances for the relationship to last longer rather than ending. In relationship rules, every personal relationship has established a set of rules, whether if it was spoken or unspoken, to their significant other. Rules are instructions that helps us understand how to interact and treat others. These rules can be divided into categories. The first one is constitutive rule, which helps us interpret communication. These are rules that have been established to let us know that others are loved and cared for. For example, remembering someone's birthday. The second one is regulative rules, which controls and regulates an interaction or behavior, and using words like shall not. These rules can differ depending on race, religion, and cultural background that a person may have. For example, in religion, some Christians are expected to marry people that are also Christians. This wouldn't work for them if that other person was an atheist. The same can happen in race. A person from a particular race could have a rule to marry others with that same race. Anything else could not be socially accepted to them. Here we have affected by context. Our society has influenced the way people interact and communicate with each other. These are some examples of how people can become affected by context. First is families, social circles, social contexts, and influence of technology. Families are an important part of a person's life when choosing a partner. Their ideas and beliefs influence what others look for in a person. This can be due to religious practices, cultural and ethic rules, and ideologies. In social circles, people in our society that surround us are influenced by the others' ways of thinking. An example of this could be religious practices, a work environment, or even the community. Even circumstances, which is the environment and of their surroundings and how they interact with each other. Finally, technology, which is a modern advancements like online dating sites that have influenced the way people start relationships, like Tinder or ChristianMingle.com. Even the idea of wanting to know how much their partner earns for a living, or if they have to pay for child care. In relationship dialects, these dialects can be opposing or continuous. In a personal relationship, we can divide them into 3 categories. The first is autonomy and connection. The second one is novelty and predictability. The third one is openness and closeness. In autonomy, when a person seeks to be on their own for a short period of time and wanting that individuality and that separate moment alone. Meanwhile, a person can often want to feel connected with others after having that alone time. This can create a great balance in a relationship because it helps the person be more involved on their own, seeking that autonomy and individuality, as well as wanting to later on stay connected to others. In novelty and predictability, this involves opposing over routines that are known and familiar to us. And it's also the desire of wanting to do something new. People tend to follow traditions like celebrating certain holidays, like with their family members. But sometimes other people want to seek something new, something that has never been done before. For example, a person could decide in Christmas that instead of giving each other gifts, they can save money and pay for their own ticket to go snowboarding as a family trip. Then we have openness and closeness. This is when wanting to share secrets and certain details, but also wanting privacy. People tend to share secrets and tell others certain situations, but there are times that they don't want to open their hearts just yet and not wanting to tell others specific details. Then we have relationship dialects, tensions. Here are some guides to help dealing with tensions when talking to other people as well as to romantic partners. First, we have neutralization, which is having a balance and meeting both of their needs in one agreement. An example of this is when there's an argument, two people can often come into a compromise. Then we have separation, which is ignoring or spending some time alone away from that person. Then we have segmentation, which is assigning activities and situations to the other person. And finally, we have reframing, which is the anatomy and closeness.